Everybody, this is Susie. Thank you for watching my channel, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my Chile Bruto recipe, and this is also called Picante in Spanish. And this is the ingredients that we're going to be using. We're going to be using chile de arbol, and the brand doesn't really matter, it's just the dried chiles that come in a package. Some garlic, salt, water, and a little bit of oil. So let's get started. Okay, so usually what I do with the chiles, this is about 2/3 of a cup of chile de arbol. And I like to, sometimes they're a little dusty or, they look a little dirty. So what I like to do is I take a wet paper towel and I'll just like clean it like this. You don't really want to run them under water or anything, because then it takes a long time for them to dry, and when you put them in the oil it'll start like jumping and stuff, and so this way they stay pretty much dry. You just you just clean them up, and usually they don't need that much, and that's it. And now we're going to turn the heat on, and I like to add a little bit of oil. You can add any oil that you like. You can use canola oil, olive oil, any type of oil that you like. And this is the amount of oil that I use, so very, very little oil. So now you can add your chiles. And you're just going to cook them until they start getting a little like dark brown or a little black, and this depends on your taste. Some people like them really, really dark because it just gives it like a kind of like a smoky flavor to it. Other people don't like them so dark or so burnt almost. So it just depends on your taste. So we're just going to roast these for a little bit, and then I'll show you what they look like. Okay, so you kind of want to move them around. You don't want to walk away from them because they will burn really quickly. So you kind of have to just move them around as you cook them. And also, you can do this a couple of ways. One time I did it without the oil because I wanted to do it all plant-based chile. But when I dry roasted them on the pan, the smell of the chile was so strong that I was like coughing for half a day. So it was really, really strong. So when you add a little tiny bit of the oil, your house doesn't smell like chile, and you won't be coughing because these chiles are pretty spicy. So you can just add a tiny bit just for them to be covered. So, and that prevents them from like smelling so much. And also, the other thing that you can do is, if you don't want to use any oil at all, you don't want to cook them, if you want to make this kind of like a raw chile, I've also done it where I just put the chiles, I clean them up, I put them in the blender, I put the water, the salt, the garlic, and I blend it up, and it's a completely raw chile. I don't know if it would be considered raw food because the chiles are kind of dried up, or maybe that wouldn't be considered, fully raw, but it would be at least raw that you don't cook them in the oil and things like that. So you can do those two things, like I said. And also, if you still eat, more oil, because I used to do, like when I blend it, I would add like half the amount of water and half the amount of oil. So that was a lot of oil, like maybe almost like 1 or 2 tablespoons of oil that I would add to this, and it gives it a more, when you blend it, it's a creamy color versus the the bright red color that it gets. So you can try that. The only thing is that you have to, if you're gonna do it with the oil, you have to wait until the chiles are completely cooled, because if not, when you blend it, for some reason it separates sometimes. So just, roast your chiles, wait for them to cool, then add them to your blender, add the oil, half the oil, half the water. And the water and the oil, it just depends on how liquidy you want them, how runny you want your hot sauce, or how thick you want it, so that just depends on you. So this is like 3 minutes in, and you see, I don't know if you can see how they're starting to change color a tiny little bit. So we're gonna go for like maybe a couple more minutes, okay? Okay, the other thing that people do sometimes is that, oops, let me close the door so you don't hear the noise. Okay, so this was exactly 5 minutes, and this is what they look like. You can see some of them are a little darker. This is how I like it. I don't want them too dark, because then if you let them go too much, they will taste a little bit bitter. So a couple of them, you know, is fine. It's fine, but not all of them to be pure black, because then it will get better. And then the other thing that some people do as well is that when you're roasting your chiles, they add the peeled cloves of garlic to it, and this will make the garlic flavor a little less pungent. I like garlic, so I add my garlic raw to the chile when I'm going to blend it. So you have also those two options, that some people will roast it with the chiles, or you can just put it raw like I do. Okay, so we're gonna let this cool a little bit, maybe I would say like 5 minutes, and then we're gonna blend it up.